6 countries. The return of Manutuiraji provides Eddie Jones with a vital power surge. England will reconvene in London today to begin preparations for their next Six Nations appointment, a pivotal clash with Wales. The squad will take up residence just around the corner from Kensington Palace, one of many households in the country. Their rugby loyalties will be divided for the big game at Twickenham. In the Red Rose camp will be the Duchess of Cambridge, who replaced Prince Harry as the new patron of the RFU before the Six Nations. Meanwhile, in the Wales corner, with a daffodil on his lapel, will be her husband, Prince William, who has been patron of the WRU since 2016. The Six Nations title prospects for both teams will be on the line a week on Saturday in a fixture that has taken on enormous significance given the turn of events over the weekend. Everything remains possible for both teams heading into the middle weekend, from the title to 5th place. Wales rebounded from their defeat by Ireland with a performance of defiance and sheer bloody-mindedness to edge Scotland 20-17. Meanwhile, England, having lost a game they should have won at BT Midfield on the opening weekend, were more clinical in Rome as they scored 5 tries in a 33-0 victory over Italy. Eddie Jones, the head coach, can now call on the cavalry. Manu Tuilagi, the Sale Sharks powerhouse, is set to link up with the England squad after marking his return from a hamstring injury with 2 impactful games for his club in the Gallagher Premiership. Joe Launchbury, who trained with the squad last week after recovering from knee ligament damage, will come back into the equation, and he would bring valuable ballast to the England second row. Courtney Lawes, who missed the opening 2 games with concussion, is also hopeful of being available. Tuilagi would be a game-changer for England because, as successive coaches of the national team have discovered over the past decade, he is an irreplaceable presence in the midfield, whether wearing number 12 or number 13. England have imported Ben Teo and Sam Burgess in search of an alternative. They have tried homegrown muscle in Ollie Lawrence and Luther Burrell. They have looked too at Paolo Odogwu and Max Ojimo, but ultimately they always fall back on playmakers. Owen Farrell has started 40 times at inside centre under Jones, who has used 22 different midfield partnerships. With the captain out injured and Tuilagi absent, England played Scotland with a midfield of Henry Slade and Elliot Daly outside Marcus Smith. The balance was improved for the Italy game with Slade joined by Joe Marchant, who is more of a potent, direct runner but still no Tuilagi. Just having a power-running centre would give us a different option, Jones said. Everything we're doing now is about trying to create opportunities through finesse, and that's through good running lines and passing. But to have someone who can take you forward quickly and engage 2 or 3 defenders, then allows you to try and finesse in extra space would be really useful to us. When you've got smaller centers, you've got to be much better at your running and support lines and passing. I think we're making some progress. We've had 3 centers play, and I think Slade has been very good. Marchant and Daly have had their moments, but we need to get more out of that and we understand that. Jones conceded England's midfield without Tuilagi was still a work in progress, as it has been since he first broke down after the 2013 British-Irish Lions tour. England have only 15 competitive tests until the World Cup to solve a decade-long conundrum. The noises coming from Sale, though, are positive. In his first game back from the hamstring damage he suffered against South Africa in November, Tuilagi smashed Andre Esterhuizen, the bulldozing Harlequin centre, with a ferocious tackle. On Saturday, he was on the scoresheet as Sale defeated Worcester Warriors. Manu was outstanding and it is good for the country that he will go to England and do just as good a job as he did for us, Alex Sanderson, the Sale director of rugby, said. Manu has come back from his injury even better and it shows there is life in the old dog yet. I am so excited for him and he is going to do well because he has trained so hard. He has prepped well and his head is in a good place. England have other selection questions to address over the next 15 tests, particularly at tight head prop. Will Stewart started against Italy but was removed at halftime for Kyle Sinclair, who is by some distance the first choice number 3. Joe Hayes, from Leicester Tigers, is highly regarded but has only 2 caps. England will take 3 to the World Cup. The second row stocks have been depleted by injuries to Launchbury and Johnny Hill, while the need for a ball carrier meant Maro Itoje moved to blindside flanker against Italy. Lawes and Launchbury would strengthen England's options in the back 5 for the Wales game. Longer term, England have 2 very promising heavyweight forwards coming through in Ollie Chesham, who enjoyed an impressive debut on Sunday, and Alfie Barbery, the tackle-breaking Wasps flanker. England also have bright young talents at scrum half, with Harry Randall and Rafi Quirk both making an impact in tests this season by injecting pace into the game. For now they sit behind Ben Youngs, who is in line to set a men's caps record against Wales with his 115th test appearance. It will not be a game for the faint-hearted. Last year, England fell behind to 2 controversial tries, worked hard to climb back, but ultimately lost 40-24. That left England with 2 defeats from their 3 fixtures, against the same opponents as this year, and they slipped to a 5th-place finish. Jones is more concerned with the resilience Wales showed in defeating Scotland than events from 12 months ago. "You can't learn anything from bad refereeing," he said. "I thought Wales were outstanding on Saturday. They hung in the game. It was a great attritional performance. They're a good, tough team. They're Six Nations champions, aren't they? They're not going to throw away their mantle easily. If we're not in contention for the title, then there aren't too many teams who are. One of England or Wales will drop out of the running at Twickenham on the middle weekend of the Six Nations. It promises to be a right royal dust-up."